Hi there, good morning, happy Monday morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals and welcome to 30 minutes of my day. I have a few things here that I'm going to get started on before I have to go and do adult things. Monday is usually I try to devote most of my morning to paperwork on Mondays, but I want to have a little bit of fun. I have a few things left that I want to do that are left over from yesterday. And you know what? The first thing I'll talk about here is I put in another page off screen for my sample book. Yesterday we did, oh, there, I went and showed you what I did. Yesterday we did these cute little pockets from G. Kerr's her reference journal that she has been working on in a series on her channel. Go over and check it out. She's a very good teacher. She's got a very calm and very good way of explaining things. Anyhow, I was sorting through my latest junk basket. I get these baskets. There's usually one handy or two or three within arm's reach of my desk that I just chuck things in. You can see offcuts of papers, scrap paper, things like that. And every once in a while they just get so overflowing that I have to deal with them. And it's good to deal with them. And in this case, it was really fortuitous because I found a note I had written to myself a few months ago. And am I ever glad I wrote the note to myself? Now, it got lost in that basket, but hold on, let me grab it. I wrote myself this note. I found it in the basket, and it says, Dutch door front page. And it reminded me that I had put Dutch door front pages on the 5 encyclopedias that I did. I think I did I do them in January or February? The 5 encyclopedias. And I also I think I did a Dutch door in everybody's encyclopedia, I think. Anyhow, so I had written myself a note, Dutch door. Somehow it got into my junk offcuts basket. I forgot about Dutch doors and how much I love Dutch doors. So I just thought, well, it sounds like I need to put a Dutch door in my sample book so that I'll remember how much fun Dutch doors are when you open up a junk journal. So I made a Dutch door for my Grimm's Fairy Tales. So there's the actual front page. I didn't want to have to cut it up in order to make my Dutch door. So what I did was I added a new front page on, which is very simple. I usually will do it with a heavier paper or cardstock, not flimsy paper. And I just score a fold onto it. I have a really nice, I have a cutting board that does a nice scallopy edge, so it makes it look really pretty. It's just a little detail that I like. But what that does is see how it goes out over the edge? And then this is just washi tape, but previously with Dutch doors, I've used a little piece of scrapbook paper that matches the end papers. Like this, I could have used a band of this and put it over here and really matched those up. And you just glue it in and then you cut it out so that this side is still all smooth and looks really neat. But isn't that fun? Like what I got this out of, I have a book on the various labels, the beautiful labels from the products for Crabtree and Evelyn. So this is the label for their Worcestershire sauce. Anyhow, I just thought I'd show you the Dutch door that I put into my sample book. I'm happy with it. I have a few things planned for my sample book of my own things. I went through my own Instagram to remind myself and refresh my memory of some of the things I've put into junk journals of the past that I might like to do again. And so I've gone through it, and I think I'm going to redo a few to put into my sample book. Again, just to remind myself of things that I enjoyed. So there we go. So that's one thing on my desk that I wanted to share with you. Now I'm going to do a bit more work on Wenzel's Inheritance here. Yesterday we put those pockets in from the inspiration from G. Kerr. Here, these ones. So happy with how that turned out. This is something I will definitely do again on a busy page. And I will definitely do it with paper again next time, and not bulk up my book using cardstock. I didn't have tags in this when we left off yesterday. So I think I had only made this one. So I went ahead after the camera stopped running and I made a little tag for in this middle pocket. And this is actually from an old book I have called The Girl's Own Annual. And I want to use a few things from that book in here because that book, let me find it. It's just a big old wonderful book. And they're quite easy to come by. This is it. This is the one I have. This is 1888, this old book. And it is just chock full of fantastic illustrations and etchings. Of course, I pick a page that has none on it. And another page that has none on it. Here we go. What it is, from the best of my knowledge, figuring it out, The Girl's Own Paper was sort of like a newsletter kind of thing because it says price 1 penny. So it looks like you could buy them, but then it sounds like at the end of the year, you could actually buy this bound copy of all of the year's newsletters. And this one in particular is 1888. And it's just, I mean, look at all these illustrations that are there's just years and years worth of art supplies in here. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Anyhow, I just thought 1888 for this book. Well, this book, Wenzel's Inheritance, is 1890. So even the young ladies that I would maybe cut out of this book, actually I've already put one in. Let me move this out of the way. Uh-oh, did I put my timer on? I did. Okay. I put one in here. Where did I put her? There she is. So, like, this illustration is from 1888. It's not a reprint of a drawing from 1888. So cool. So I want to use a few in here. And so that's what I put in as one of the little tags in that pocket. And then I simply put a tab onto an index card and tucked that one in the bigger pocket that's in the back. And I love how this turned out. I think very happy with learning that. Thank you, G. Now here's my latest conundrum that I'm going to work on today. This is probably going to get sewn later on today and bundled up. I think I'm ready to just put that into a text block and work from there. Sometimes I need it all sewn together to get even more inspired on what I want to do with page turns. And when it's still loose like this, I find that this part of it challenging to feel inspired because it doesn't feel like a book yet to me. Anyhow, so for the end papers, let me stand up again, make sure I'm in. I am, yes. For the end papers, I thought I had wanted them like this with the roses here for the end papers. But because this book, Victoria was on the throne at the time this book was literally physically made. So I thought, let's make a little cabinet card of Victoria and Albert gazing lovingly at each other. Now, by the time this book was published, he had passed away. But this photo was taken in 1859, I believe, 1860. Anyhow, I have a book on a biography on Queen Victoria. So that's where I got this photo from. And then I glue them onto a chipboard. I back them so that if the new owner wants to journal on the back And of course, just give it some really good aging and it just, voila, faux cabinet card. So I thought cabinet cards, because they are quite hefty, sometimes they need a hefty kind of pocket to hold them. And so I thought I'd make a pocket today. And I have this. I have some doilies, and I was looking at doilies. Here are a few. I think this one's too bulky. I'm going to write that one off right now. But this one's lovely and thin, and I do enjoy it. And I haven't totally discarded the notion of using this one. But here was my challenge, because I want the pocket in the front. And I've got these roses here. Well, you can't really see from a distance, but these papers actually do have an up and a down. Like you can see there's some, I don't know whether they're cologne bottles or medicinal bottles, but that's up. The fence is pointing up. And this one, you can still see some cologne bottles in the background pointing up. So I'm thinking, but if I put my pocket here, which is where I want it, I will no longer see my lovely roses. So I thought, what if I switch out and put this page that was going to be in the back in the front? Then I could still put my pocket in. And then Victoria and Albert have a new home to tuck into in the book. I think that's nice. So this one is thinner and finer. And these are kind of fun. I call this a Nancy pocket because she's the one I recall first seeing anyone do it like this. And she just takes a lovely doily and glues it and sews it in. And then she flips over one side to give it more of a triangle or crescent type shape, so that not only can things go in and out and you can see them better, but the fold gives this edge a little more firmness, because they can be floppy, and that fold is just brilliant. She's not just a pretty face. But I really am leaning towards this funny little triangle on here. Now I'm going to have to do a bit of doctoring. I don't mind it. In fact, I enjoy that it sticks out a little bit. Hold on. Let's move Victoria and Albert. So if it were there, that little bit would be sticking out like that down there. And I don't mind that at all, because there's also going to be lace along here. I don't know yet. I may have a lace tie when I'm done. Maybe lace, like I said, I really want this to be quite pretty. So I'm okay with it sticking out over the edge. And of all things, I think this was a table runner. The sewing of this fabric along the edge actually makes it not stretchy. And I'm thinking I could fold that over. I sort of got to make this decision before I glue in my end papers, because if I'm going to go with a lacy pocket, I really want to be able to sew it right onto the end paper, and that's got to be done before the end paper gets glued in. So I'm thinking that that's what I want to do, but I've got to figure out how much, like what kind of angle I'm going to put it at, and where to cut it here. Okay. Well, obviously I have to cut it in between there. Let me move these. I'm going to be using 3-in-1 just to slow down any fraying it might want to do. There. And then I've got to decide whether I want to give myself a little extra room on this side and sacrifice a bit of this triangle for the cause, and I'm going to. So I'm going to take this here and then up here. For now, I may trim it even more. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to get glue on my desk. So I'm just going to, these raw edges where it may want to unravel, I'm just going to give that a little bit of glue. No, this is naturally finished. Okay, well, then I only have one side to do. It'll just either prevent or at least slow down any unraveling. I'm going to sort of mash it in and flip it over. You know what? Let's just do it. I want a bit more. There. Just let that dry. But in the meantime, what I want to do is, so I didn't need you. I didn't need you. Oh, don't stick. So what I want to do is, as I said, oh, let's get you laying flat again. There we go. I want to keep this fabric here, but I don't want that person's embroidery on it. So let's see if we can just snip these and pull them out. So that there's no embroidery anymore. And then I'll just sew it in behind with my own machine. Again. All right, tweezers. Yeah. Ah, that's exactly what I wanted. Good. Oh, that little knot. There we go. Cute. Good. Oh, they've been knotted right into the... That one's knotted right in as well. Let's see if we can get it off. It's going to get sewn. There we go. It's going to get sewn behind anyways, but why not if I can get it off of there. There we go. Alrighty. You know what? I'm wasting time here. I'm going to pause and finish this. Where is my... Okay, so I've got all the embroidery out of there. I'm just going to even up. There's sort of a little hump here. And it's going. There we go. Now, I'm not too worried about this because when I glue it onto the end paper and then when I overstitch it using my machine, that will hold those together. But I do want this folded over, glued down, and then I am going to overstitch it. So that, see, there's no stretch there. I think that's going to make a really nice edge for the pocket. So what I'm going to do is glue it down. I don't have to glue it too vigorously because it's going to be held in place with the sewing. But I don't mind giving it a little because when the glue dries, hopefully it'll also add to making it a little bit stiffer. Because like I said, the faux cabinet card is hefty. So it's going to need some good support. Victoria and Albert are going to need some good support. There. Now I'm going to have to be patient, which I don't like having to be patient. But my sewing machine does not like when I sew through damp glue. So I really need to let that dry. But in the meantime, I can daydream about it and make more plans. So where is my paper? I actually want the whole book so that I can see how much it's going to lay over the edge. So if you are there, I guess I'm going to have to decide now. I'm probably going to take a bit off this edge here because I like these roses and this is just blank. And I can tell already, I can feel the dent here of the edge. I usually will cut my end papers a little too big so that I still have trimming room in case once I get my text block in. Gee, I'm glad I'm talking to myself right now. Because now that I think about it, yeah, maybe I should be getting my text block ready, getting it in, and then put my pocket in. Because if I need to trim this side, I can't put my pocket on yet. Well, I still want to see what my plans are so that I know ahead of time. But I'm feeling this edge. I think it's going to have to come over just a smidge to about there, which means I'm probably going to need to lose about 1/8 of an inch off of that side. But if I put my pocket here like that, then I can still let that little bit of lace droop over the edge, which I love. Then I've got that firm edging there. So if I hold that down, that's going to hold Victoria and Albert. And I love the angle here because you can still see their faces. I think that's going to work out nice. And I might see if there's, I mean, I could always pin something pretty there. Yeah. All right, so it looks like my end papers are going to have to hold off, and that talking to myself has helped me realize what order I have to do things in. So, yay. And I know I'm not talking to myself. You're out there listening, and it's nice. It's nice feeling. Alrighty, so I've still got a triangle left. I still have that tiny doily left, and I may still use that. I may get this all together and then decide that that a journal this pretty needs 2 lace pockets. So I still have to poke holes in this. Where's my little gardener's knee pad? I just used my gardener's knee pad and an awl. Wonder how much time I have left. Hold on. a few minutes. Okay. This is a good time for me to do this. I find that sewing text blocks requires my full attention and patience with myself. So feeling fresh and chipper and ready to go is a good time of day rather than evenings. I have learned, do not sew text blocks in the evening or by like 4 o'clock in winter nights. It's already dark by then. I'm just pushing the little displaced little bumps that happen, and then I go back through it again. I hold it up to the window and poke them back through the other way. It just gives it a nice, I don't know, it's one of my little OCD silly things, because this would be one of the details I look for in a junk journal. I would look and see how nicely those signatures are sewn in. And then it would drive me nuts if I hadn't done it nicely. I have been known to take apart a whole text block and resew it. Not anymore. I think I have my own little routine, and everyone's got their own. I think I have my own little routine down to a happy routine. I know my things that I'm fuss budgety about. And, come on. I have to hold it up to the window. I apologize. You probably can't even see what I'm doing, so I'm sorry about that. There we go. See, I can still see the light coming through the little hole that I punched, so that's why when I hold it up towards the natural light, I can see where it is and push it back through. And then if there is a little volcano, oh, I hear you, then it's on the other side. Dismiss. So, and then that side just faces the back of the book spine anyways. So, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I want to, this is going to be quite a big size book. And I think I want to put in a permanent bookmark, which is just a ribbon, but you have to do it at a certain point when you're putting together a junk journal, or else you've lost your opportunity. So if I'm going to put one in, I will sew in all my signatures, and then I glue that over, and I glue that over so that you get a nice finished edge. And then you find your glue, pardon me, your ribbon. I like this one, but I think it's too wide. I just love this ribbon. I think, I could be wrong. I like to try and remember who sent me what in Happy Mail. I feel like it's so important because I'm so grateful that they took the time to send me Happy Mail. But I worry that I get it wrong. I think Dave sent me this ribbon, and I love it because it's really a beautiful, sort of a violety indigo, and it's got that gold trimming on it. I may have to, but I do think I need to use something a little thinner. I may use this one. And that's what you will do, is you want it as long as you want, and you glue it at the top, just in there. And then that's before it goes back into the book. So then you have a nice finished edge on your permanent ribbon. All right, so my phone is going to cut me off. I'm at 30 minutes. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and that you're doing well, and that everyone you love is doing well. And we will talk again soon. I have to go work on adulty math things right now. Ugh, wish me luck. Maybe I'll get to have some more fun this afternoon. That'd be great. Take care, everyone. Bye.